The past couple of weeks, Hawaii Sports Memories has talked.
And on a recruiting visit, I've talked to other coaches around the country, and they say, heck, you bring a kid in for a visit, he may eat 3 or 4 times a day. He can eat as often as he wants. There's no rule that says how often a kid can eat on a visit.
The past couple of weeks, Hawaii Sports Memories has talked with Ripper Collins. Tonight, Rob Fukuzaki concludes his rap with the Ripper about the good old days, some may say, when he did the nasty.
One day, wrestler Bill Francis was doing a demonstration with Lawrence Alley-Hoblares. Ripper says he set up Francis pretty good, put a boot in his side and sent him flying, breaking 3 ribs.
Wasn't the right thing to do, but, I mean, I didn't really care then. I was making big bucks, so.
That was the dirtiest, the craziest thing he's done, wrestling with a 7-foot, 500-pound bear.
The secret about wrestling a bear is never let them get on you, because if they get on you, they fall right straight back and you're not going to get up. And when I punched that bear and he roared, I left the ring and left the bear alone with the soda pop.
And his assessment of wrestling today.
They're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They spend more time in the gyms now than they did before, but they have to. To make the big bucks, you've got to be the best, and you've got to be on top, and the only way to do it is perform.
Whenever the WWF comes to Hawaii, it's always sold out, and Ripper wishes there was wrestling here on a regular basis.
It's a shame there's not someone out there with some big bucks that would like to invest it in the business and make all their money back in a few short years, because it's here, and the fans love it. I love Hawaii, and when I go to New Zealand or Australia or Japan, I say, what in the heck am I doing here? I could be back home. And this is my home.
Roy Lee, Albert Collins. That's Ripper to you, buddy. A Hawaii sports memory. Rob Fukuzaki, News 4 Sports.
Some guys didn't like Ripper because he was a P-Law wrestler, but always entertaining.
Ripper got his glasses at the same place Sally Jesse Raphael got hers, different color.
Yeah, that's by accident he got it green, you know, by accident. Like, they didn't have anything else to fit the lenses he had. Oh. So he said, that looks nice, give me 20 of them.
It was very special seeing the reaction of those fans today.
The mighty Milo, Tayo's former tag team partner when they were tidal waves. Let's take a look at that match right now.
Champion Steve Regal there, carrying the belt around his waist, and in that flashy ring jacket, too, I might add. And he's going up against our own mighty Milo, that little packet of dynamite.
And I'm going to tell you right now, Dunbar, this Milo is in great shape, and Mr. Regal is in for a very hard night at Aloha Stadium. 20,000 people here to see it, and Milo is ready. Mr. Regal is the champion as of this moment, but this match isn't over yet, and Milo is a very determined competitor and a great wrestler and athlete and a proud Samoan to top it off.
I'll tell you something, Steve Regal wants to keep that belt because it means an awful lot of money to him, and he has been known to pull a couple of shady things in the ring to hold on to that belt. We'll have to see if he's going to be a scientific wrestler or possibly a rule breaker tonight. He could go either way.
Milo.
Regal trying to hold on to it. Back turned to us now. He can't see who's on top. Milo fighting his way out. Draped over the second ring rope. Referee calling for the break. Regal getting in a quick, cheap shot there. The forearm to the back.
I want to tell you, Dunbar, while we got a minute here, you know, you've seen earlier this Maya Singh with Kevin Sullivan. Is he a goofy-looking guy or what?
I want a goofy, strange.
He's definitely got his phone off the hook. We got rid of the maniac that used to hang out with Sullivan, and now you got this guy. He's the weirdest man I've seen in a long time. He definitely is not all there. And, of course, Kevin Sullivan, that's what he hangs out with. If they're in outer space, he's got to have them on his side because then he can control them, and he does. I don't even want to get into the subject with him because he's done things here with ball bats and face thinner and powder. It's uncalled for. It's unnecessary in wrestling, and that's the capabilities of Kevin Sullivan. He attacked the young girl. There is no end to what this man will do.
I don't even want to think about it. They call him the Prince of Darkness, and with good reason also. And this Maya thing, what can you say about it? The man is a strange apparition.
Birds of a feather flock together.
Back in the ring now, mighty Milo in command. Steve Regal tied up in the ropes. Mighty Milo could find himself disqualified if he doesn't help to Ooh, look at the pressure. Those are steel cables there.
Right.
Right around his foot. Oh, I can imagine. Look, he's limping now, and Mighty Milo follows up with a reverse chin lock. Boy, Ripper, that could have broken his leg.
It has many, many times, just like the side headlock a while ago. That's the reason a lot of wrestlers wear their hair long, Dunbar. They cover up those ugly-looking cauliflowers on the side of your head.
Steve Regal trying to get some blood supply back into that leg. That foot was tied up between those steel cables. Makes his way back to his feet. Mighty Milo not intent on releasing the hold, trying to counter it. Steve Regal picks him up. Fireman's carry. No, he's going to bring him right over. He's holding this man up. What's going to happen here? Oh, back drop right on the Mighty Milo.
Full force.
Oh, 1, 2, 3. No, 2.5. I don't believe it.
Came out of that, and I don't believe it either,
just
Dunbar.
in time, too. It was almost
landed
all over.
Full weight with his weight, and Regal's on him.
Side breaker on the Mighty Milo. Steve Regal. Slow cover. 1, 2. Again, the shoulders came up just in time.
Milo is coming out of there at the last minute, but he's coming out.
He's really hurt. You can tell right there. Mighty Milo, not as fast as he was, goes into the ropes. Oh! Comes over. Drop kick. Steve Regal tied up in the ropes. Oh, look out now. Milo coming back now. A right to the head. Another right to the forehead. Into the midsection we go. It comes off with a chop. Steve Regal now is feeling what it's like to be on the other side of the coin. Mighty Milo looks like a trapezius hold from this point in time. Yep, certainly is. Boy, he really has those fingers wrapped into the muscle.
I love that punch he threw Dunbar. That knocked him.
Woo! Steve Regal comes back. Not too much authority behind that one. Grabs the side headlock again. This is kind of a rest hold for Steve Regal. Picks his man up. Looked like an atomic drop. Not too well executed, but it did some damage. Count of 1, 2, 2.5.
That could have been it right there, Dunbar.
Very nearly over with. Title almost changed hands.
And what's going to happen here? Oh, look out!
Wait a minute. Both men in the turnbuckle.
Oh,
Both men shows 1, 2, 3. The count of 3.
That's it.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Referee is calling for something.
What's he doing?
He gave Steve Regal the win?
He can't do that. No!
Wait a minute. I saw that. Mighty Milo he bridged at the last minute.
Milo had the hole. What is he doing, Dunbar?
Discussion is being made. He's signaling to the timekeeper. I'm trying to find out what the thing is. It's very confusing because I distinctly saw Steve Regal pinned, and yet he's the champion.
Milo bridged at the last minute, Dunbar.
Let me make my way over here to Friday Allman to see what's happening here. Friday, you're the timekeeper. Tell me, what's the story here? What's happened?
The story was it was a double pin, and the referee says that the champion will keep his belt.
Oh, no! Now, I don't believe this is happening. But there it is. There's the announcement. The winner, Steve Regal.
An unpopular decision.
Hi, this is Lance Russell. We're standing here with controversial wrestling star Jerry the King Lawler, the AWA Southern Heavyweight Champ, many times holder of many of the most prestigious single and tag titles around the world, and he is headed to the South Pacific, going down to the beautiful land of Hawaii.
Wait a minute. Before we even start talking about Hawaii, I want you to explain that first comment. What do you mean, controversial?
Well,
what does that mean, controversial?
Jerry, nobody denies the fact that you have a successful record. You have made yourself one of the great stars in professional wrestling. Sometimes there's a little question about how you win some of the matches. Now, don't be acting like you never heard that before.
Well, let me ask you something. When the guy comes and knocks on your door at the end of the month to collect the rent, does he ask you how you got the money? Does he care how you got the money, Lance?
All right.
No, he doesn't. Nobody cares.
You got to ask yourself when you shave in the morning sometimes.
Let me tell you something, Lance. I hire people to shave me, okay? I don't have to ask myself anything. Now let's talk about what, Hawaii?
Hawaii.
What did you say about it?
I said one of the most beautiful places on the earth, as a matter of fact. It is the home of one of the great, most prestigious wrestlers.
Wait. Let's talk about Hawaii. It's beautiful to you? Is that what you think?
Oh, what a gorgeous place.
Oh, if they were going to give the earth an enema, that's where they'd stick the nozzle, right in Honolulu. Do you realize what I'm talking about? Now, it may be beautiful to you, but I think that one of the biggest atrocities that this country has ever suffered was when they ever made that little jerk place down there a state. That is a joke.
You don't mean that.
Yeah, I do mean that. I really do mean that. You're going to talk about Hawaiian wrestling history down there? I've been to Hawaii, Lance. That's why I can say this. Have you truthfully ever been there? Have you ever been there?
I have been there in my dreams many times. I've never had the opportunity to go.
Boy, you got
I
that
hope
right.
to in the future.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something. Let me save you a trip. Don't waste your time. It's a joke. Hawaii, talking about being the paradise on earth. There's nothing down there, Lance, but a bunch of big, fat native coconuts.
% federal tax credit by installing a solar water heating system. But be aware, not all systems fully qualify. The new IRS ruling disqualifies solar storage tanks equipped with electric heating elements. If this sounds confusing, call Associated Solar at 524-2646. Associated systems all qualify. Associated Solar sets the standards for Hawaii's solar industry.
Hi, this is Lance Russell, and we're here with Rocky Johnson. And by golly, Rocky, I'll tell you what, I have thought about a lot of folks that I wouldn't want to be, but sometimes head of the list is Rocky Johnson. Everybody in professional wrestling is shooting for you. They're making trips to Hawaii to get a shot at you, man. It's got to make you nervous.
Let me just say this. Right now, everybody, the whole world knows I'm here at this American Bash in Nashville, Tennessee, but they all know Honolulu is my home. That's where it's at. That's where my family's at. That's where my people's at. Everybody's out here on the interview running their mouth talking about they're coming to Honolulu after Rocky Johnson. They're coming to Honolulu to do this. I'm not the only one in Honolulu. You got Lars Anders in there. We got the Samoan Connection. We got some pretty big boys down there. Ray, Stomper, Lawler, all of you, brother, get out here and run your mouth off. But when you come to Honolulu, Hawaii, you stepping on my turf. And you're in my backyard, and you're there with my people, my friends, and my fans that are all behind me. So let me just say this. There's no brags, Daddy, just facts. You can get out here and run your mouth off. You know that, Lance. You've been around a long time. The masters are not one out here on the mic. If they want to come in, if Harley Race wants to come in, Jerry Lawler wants to come, bring them on in. Come on in. Hey, I can get myself a partner. Like I said, we got Sila Apple there. We got the Samoan Connection. We got Lars Anderson. We got some guys that we don't like, Kevin Sullivan guys, but I feel that we got some of the top professional wrestlers in the world right there in Honolulu. So just as a message for all these guys that think they're coming to our island and going to run us around, you come on in because we'll be waiting for you. When I say we, that doesn't mean just Rocky Johnson. That means Rocky Johnson and company, which includes my family, my friends, and my people. Thank you.
There you have it, the words from one half of the Polynesian Pacific Tag Team Champions, and a big man in the ring, Mr. Rocky Johnson. Ripper.
I'm going to tell you right now, partner, he can back up what he says. And right now, at the Neo Blaisdell in Honolulu, we got a barn of fire with Freeburg Michael Hayes against Kevin Von Erich, and this is going to be a big one. And what did you think about King Mouth?
You mean King Jerry Lawler,
Well, that's what I said, King Mouth. Did you ever hear anything like that in your life?
Well, he's not too complimentary about Hawaii, and I'm sure that the fans out here are going to take exception to some of his words, but you got to admit, the man has been victorious in the ring more often than not, and he's a powerful wrestler, and whoever he's going to come out here and meet better be on his toes.
Well, he is going to be on the Superstar Jamboree coming up very soon, no doubt about that. But he doesn't have to pick on the people of Hawaii, and we know what kind of a character is. But, Dunbar, there is no need in saying the things that he said about anybody. So as far as I'm concerned, from now on, he will be known to me as King Mouth.
Well, I don't particularly want to get close to him because you heard what he did to Andy Kaufman, right?
Oh, absolutely. Broke the man's neck.
Yeah, I know, and there was no call for that. I mean, it was a standard signed wrestling match. He could have pinned the man immediately, but he went out to hurt him. And I just want to stay on the other side of the arena from him.
Well, I'm not too fond of him. We know that he broke the man's neck, which was unnecessary, but he did it. And All the opponents that face him now will always have that in the back of their mind. The man is vicious, and he can break your neck or any other bone in your body that he so desires.
Right now in the ring, Freebird Michael Hayes
with the flowing blonde hair.
Oh, crowd doesn't like him at all. Kevin Von Erich in the ring. Michael Hayes strutting about outside.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. A lot of people don't like the Freebirds, and we all know that there's 3 of them. But each and every one of them in their own right is a great competitor, a great athlete, and a great wrestler. And they love to make money, and they come to the places where the money is made. And that right now is the Neo Blaisdell Arena in Honolulu.
Oh, immediate side headlock. Michael Hayes. Ooh, look at that. Working on the pressure. That puts it right on squarely on the jaw in the air.
He's got Kevin a little bit of trouble right now. Kevin Von Erich. This match could be a main event anywhere in the world, and we have it right here in Honolulu.
Kevin Von Erich coming back with a couple of punches to the kidney area. Uh-oh. Michael Hayes on top in that exchange. Jumps over his man. Oh, beautiful hip toss by Kevin Von Erich. Michael Hayes pleading for mercy in the corner.
That's the best way to do it. Retreat. Retreat and get your breath.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he says now that Kevin grabbed a handful of trunks on that hip toss.
No, there wasn't. That was a stand. I saw it. Kevin Von Erich, good scientific maneuvering, took his man over. Michael Hayes says, come over to the referee, says, hey, he pulled my hair, pulled my trunks, disqualify the man. Referee says, I didn't see it.
I think he's trying to catch a little breath of air right now, and he's stalling for time, and Kevin better get on him while he's got him in trouble. Oh, look out. Here we go, fisticuff city.
Michael Hayes gets it. Oh, dives out of the ring.
Changed
the audience on his feet.
He changed his mind right there. He didn't want any part of that. He's a smart wrestler, Dunbar.
Well, he's the brains of the Freebird.
He's a manipulator.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he is. Get the man riled up and then strike when he least expects it, just like a rattlesnake.
Okay, back into the squared circle now. Kevin Sullivan, that unusual stance.
He wrestles barefooted. I don't know how he does that. I could never do that. I had to have shoes on my feet.
Well, he's lightning fast, and I guess he gets a lot of good traction. Yeah, he's a very aerial type of person. He can go up in the air, come off the top rope. He can fly up and down, level a devastating drop kick with those feet.
And, of course, we all know that he's got the claw, and if he gets that, you're either out or in a lot of trouble. Oh, look at this.
Michael Hayes turning his back on Kevin Von Erich, not wishing to get into that European test of strength. All right, both men scouting each other. Getting set, collar and elbow. There's the referee's position. Lock up. Oh, Michael Hayes. Good wrestling maneuver.
Oh, and he looks around to tell everybody, look at me, I come out on top.
And he did. Additional pressure there on Kevin Von Erich. Left arm being twisted now from the wrist. A lot of pressure there being exerted. Kevin waltzing around the ring. Comes back. Beautiful drop kick. Sends Michael Hayes out of the ring.
Right through the second and top rope to the cement floor. Catapulted him right through there. What a drop kick that was.
Kevin Von Erich, look at him. He's like a cat.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Big Island Wrestling Tour coming up Wednesday, October the 23rd, Kamehameha Gym in Kohala. Thursday, October the 24th, the Puhala Gym right outside of Kahonakai. Friday, October the 25th, Andrews Gymnasium in Hilo. Saturday, October the 26th, Konawaina High School Gymnasium in Kona. The first time ever for the Big Island fans to see in person Superfly Jimmy Snuka, Lars Anderson, Steve Offey, and all the stars of Polynesian Pacific Championship Wrestling presented by Leah Maivia. Don't miss us!
Now your chances are better than ever to win on Let's Go to the Races, Tuesdays at 6:30 on KHNL, Channel 13.
Okay, wrestling fans, while we were away, this match went back and forth. Oh, Michael Hayes being stunned, his head driven into that turnbuckle. And again, Kevin Von Erich well in command of this match.
At this moment, he is in deep command, a big slam in there.
What's he doing? Going across the rope. Oh! Double knee right into the midsection. Michael Hayes blocked it.
And they're both in trouble right now, Dunbar. And while we got a second, I want to remind all the fans in Samoa and in California will be coming your way soon. So keep tuned, and we'll tell you the dates at a later time.
Uh-oh, Michael Hayes. Beautiful high vertical suplex.
Kevin is in trouble right now.
Eric had, that's about all she wrote. Look at that. Michael Hayes strutting around. What's he going to do now?
I don't know.
Uh-oh, Kevin is sandbagging. He's playing possum. That's right. Michael Hayes comes up. Oh, the claw! The claw! Right on the forehead. That's going to be it. This match is going to be over.
No! Look out! What happened? He went down and he went through the ropes to the floor.
Michael Hayes fell to the canvas. Kevin Von Erich was thrown outside of the ring.
They're both on the floor, Dunbar. They got to get back in the ring by a 10 count.
The count is progressing. Oh! Michael Hayes and Kevin fighting outside the ring. Oh, no! Ooh! It looked like it was going to be a bulldog, which was the finisher. But Michael Hayes went into the steel ring post. Both men back inside of the ring now, fighting back and forth. The referee is telling them to break. I believe it's all over with.
I don't know. Uh-oh.
Oh, wait a minute.
Kevin just kicked the referee. That's a no-no. That's a disqualification immediately when you touch a referee.
And he's right now taking a fight to Michael Hayes in the turnbuckle.
Oh, vicious right across the bridge.
Oh, wait a minute. Referee throwing bodily outside of the ring. These two gladiators are giving it what for right in the center of the ring. Referee has been struck by both men. Referee calls for the bell. That's it. It's going to be a double disqualification. Manhandling the referee.
The match is over, and they'll...
Sunday, don't miss it.
There are a lot of deferential and reserved Japanese women, but they're not the ones at the All Japan Women's Wrestling Competition. The tournament is the subject of tonight's For Real report by Pamela Young.
You've come a long way, Cho-Cho-san. Some Japanese women today would gladly trade their futons for a full Nelson. This is Yumi Okura getting the sashimi pounded out of her by Bull Nakano. While sumo rules the ring in Japan, ladies' professional wrestling isn't far behind. The year-round matches are almost always sold out there, and promoters are hoping Hawaii wrestling fans will get a yen for these athletic imports.
結構女の子人気があるんですけど Local in Hawaii, all the ladies, they enjoyed so much. They're stepping their feet and, so I guess everybody can enjoy their games.
Lioness and her partner Chigusa Nagayo are known as the Crush Gals. They always precede their matches with a little entertainment. Just to ensure a good turnout, the promoters brought over 90 Japanese fans, mostly young women. The Crush Gals go from music to mayhem against a local tag team. Japanese wrestlers fall into distinct categories. The Crush Gals like the masculine look. The crowd favorites are the ingenues, who are usually pitted against the weirdest-looking ladies, like the Rocky Obakis and the Pussycats of the Hellcore. This Obake likes the combination headlock and microphone maul. A future reporter, no doubt. I like her journalistic style. Meanwhile, in the dressing room, the glamour girls get ready. This is Noriyo Tateno and Itsuki Yamazaki, known as the Jumping Bomb Angels. Both girls started wrestling at the age of 15. They're now 22. Itsuki says she always liked fighting in school, so wrestling was a natural. New girls live and train in a dojo. If they make enough money, they can get their own apartments. The Jumping Bomb Angels make 25 million yen a year, each. That's $186,000. Unfortunately, they don't get to spend much of it. The All Japan Women's Professional Wrestling Association forbids drinking, smoking, and men. The ladies promise to be virgins until their careers are over. Would the Angels like to get married? What kind of man are they looking for?
They would like to marry a man that is bigger than them.
That's for real. I'm Pamela Young.
How come you didn't have them in your sports report?
Would take an awfully tough man to go out with those ladies, I'd say. Yeah, sort of on the edge of sports, I'd say, Les.
Edge of sports.
Yes. Here's a woman that's right down the middle. Flo.
Like to remind the people at this time that the way to win this match is to get out of the cage over the top. And now the Sheik, the match is over here now. Right in the cage here. Right in the cage. In the cage. Sam Sampson, the referee, will not be in the cage. He will be determining the winner outside of the cage. Please lock the cage.
Well, it's a big one. It's a big one you've been waiting for. Telling you more ringside, along with my pal, world-famous wrestler and champion, Steve Ricard. Steve, now, this has never been done in the world of professional wrestling before. Here they go. Steve, look at this.
Well, the chain's going around the gate there to keep it locked anyway. There's the Sheik with something in his hand, hammering away at Bruiser Brody.
Prince Kamala up against the Sheik and Bruiser Brody. There he goes. He has something in his hand. He has something in his hand, Steve. It looks like a spike. Well, a spike of some sort. Maniac Mark Lowen making his way up the cage now.
Well, this is one of his big tactics, of course. He carries something in his hand. He stabs with it. He injures people. He throws the ball of fire, which he can throw 8 feet, incidentally, and it's 3 times as big as a man's head. Very, very dangerous man. Lowen is dangerous also, a real maniac in the ring. And Kamala is unpredictable and the Prince of Darkness. But against that, you've got Grizzly Smith. Look at the size of the man. And you've got Superfly Stewie, a really scientific wrestler and a tough young command. You have Lars Anderson, who has missed it all.
Getting the Sheik now.
And the Bruiser Brody, the biggest of them all.
Just as he promised, Lars Anderson is getting the Sheik. There's Superfly Stewie. He is just squeezing away at the head of Kevin Sullivan. There goes Prince Kamala. The Sheik has jabbed Lars Anderson, another one, with the spike on the back. Pure pandemonium here at the Neo Blaisdell Wrestling Arena.
Grizzly Smith almost came right through the cage on the floor. It's Kamala coming down over the top onto the head of the Sheik trying to climb over the top rope. Bruiser Brody would have put him down, but don't let that Sheik go to qualifier. He's trying to get over the top rope.
He's making it go far.
And once he gets out of that cage, of course, that's what it's all about. And
his spike is over the ring, over the top now. His spike is sort of pulling down his pants. They're pulling down, I don't know, his pants are up again, okay? This is a family thing. There's children here. Bruiser Brody's pounding away at the Sheik. Lars Anderson goes into the corner with Kevin Sullivan. Hand in, boom, into the corner. There is the Sheik. He is in a struggle, big struggle. Bruiser Brody slamming his head into the steel fence. There's Maniac Mark Lowen with Grizzly Smith. Lars Anderson, boom, on the chest of Kevin Sullivan. And you know the rules of this match is that there are no rules with just one. And that is the winner is the man who climbs over the top of the fence and gets out. There is no referee. Sam Sampson is down ringside, walking around the ring, ready to pronounce the winner.
Well, I think what it comes down to is the one man from a team, actually, has to climb over the top of the rope. There's one man of the team that's over the top of the cage, rather, then the team generally overall wins. We got Maniac Mark Lowen there, and stabbing away at Grizzly Smith and Kevin Sullivan.
How about he stops referee Sam Sampson is outside the ring. He's looking for the winner, whoever climbs over the steel cage. This Prince Kamala. He looks a little dazed now. is working over Grizzly Smith. There is the Sheik. He is covered with blood. He got hit, and he got hit hard. There is blood streaming all over the Sheik.
Well, the Sheik trying to get up there, and no one touched him. No, Anderson
is getting up. No, Lars is
down. There's the Sheik again trying to, and Brody is actually going up the side of the Sheik. Look if he's trying to bend into it, or if he's trying to pull him down. Well, Brody is actually trying to pull the Sheik back, trying to stop him from reaching the top. Anderson strikes up the Sheik with blood pouring from his head.
Blood pouring from the Sheik's head. He got hit bad. Bruiser Brody, he's full of blood. They're going up and at it. Prince Kamalamala seems kind of idle over there by himself for a moment.
Now look at his
Lars Anderson, Maniac Mark Lewin in the corner of the steel post.
Well, I wonder how many of these wrestlers will come out here not covered in blood. It's a brutal match.
Kamalamala is fighting Grizzly Smith. Grizzly Smith is covered with blood.
Brutal match, cage match, and this particular cage match with 8 wrestlers in it at one time, it makes it so much more brutal. Anderson with his head being thrown into the cage by Mark Lewin. Brody almost over the top. Brody almost over the top of the cage.
He gets raked across the face by Kevin Sullivan and chucked on the back by Maniac Mark Lewin. Tui is in trouble in there. Kamalamala is walking around. It seems like nobody wants to get involved with Prince Kamalamala for one reason or another. Maybe it's because he was fighting the face of Grizzly Smith, and Grizzly is bleeding profusely at this very moment.
Well, the Sheik's holding on to the top of the gate of the cage by the look to it. He's holding on to the top of the gate of the cage. Cannot get any further. Obviously, all he has, look at, he's got his foot caught in the cage and can't move. It's Brody there with Lewin back in against the cage, throwing a heavy forearm to his back, and he now has hold of his foot of the Sheik, trying to drag him away from the top of the cage.
The Sheik is trying his best to get out of there. Prince Kamalamala with Superfly Tui pounding on the chest of Superfly Tui. And the chain is coming apart.
Brody untying the chain.
That's Brody. Wilson Brody is taking off the chain.
Brody untying the chain. And there's a Sheik right on the top, almost over the top.
He's pulling the Sheik down now, trying to get that Sheik off the top. See, if he can get him off the top, see, the rest is gravy. He can pull him down and have his way. Lars Anderson being choked by Maniac Mark Lewin with the chain. The chain that they used to pull the door. Grizzly Smith is on the mat, sitting on the mat, bleeding.
Grizzly Smith looks like he's almost out of the mat.
The Sheik looks like he's been through World War III, I tell you, Steve.
Well, as I said, how many of them will not come out of the ring covered in blood? They'll all look as if they've been through World War III by the time they'll finish this match.
Grizzly Smith, he looks like he's been double and triple teamed in that one.
The Prince of Darkness, Kevin Sullivan, unmarked. He's unmarked in the match. Now they have Lewin. Grizzly Smith pound away the ring. Now he's on to Kamala.
The Sheik is still trying to make his way over the top. Still trying to make his way over the top.
Well, look out. Like I said, what's the fire? What's the fire? And he just pulled it out of his sight. Who did he hit with it? He pulled the ball out. Yes, Brody got it out of the ring. Brody has gone out of the ring and will have won the match, but he has been hit with that ball of fire thrown by the Sheik. The ball of fire looked at it, hit the Sheik, and Brody on the floor outside. Grizzly lying on the canvas, out of the match almost. There's the Sheik again. Is he going to throw more fire? One of the most dangerous men in wrestling today.
The cage, he is making his way back into the crowd. He is sort of lingering around the cage. Meanwhile, in the ring, there's lots more action going on. Grizzly Smith is down, covered with ball fire. Maniac Mark Lewin, the Sheik is chasing fans through the Neil Blaisdell Center Arena. I tell you, this is something like I have never seen before in the sport of professional wrestling. This is terrific because there are no rules except one, that you have to go over the cage. And now that the cage is open, it's just every man for himself in that cage right now, Steve.
Well, Sullivan is still in there, of course, with Grizzly Smith. Sullivan just left. Lewin is on his way out. Tui's on the floor, and Lars Anderson laid out on the floor. Lars Anderson, who has proved himself in this part of the world, the Polynesian heavyweight champion.
There's Grizzly Smith. He's taking Lars Anderson
Superfly Chewy is on the mat. Chewy looks like he's been injured, badly injured. Chewy has been hit by just about every man in this match.
What a brutal match. What a brutal match, Charlie. And I just wonder what the Sheik is doing now.
There goes a double team. Uh-oh.
Well, I think
Here goes Superfly Chewy.
Chewy.
Double team, triple team effort. There goes Chewy. Chewy is on top. Chewy is on top. It looks like Superfly Chewy is the official winner.
Yes.
He is on top. Everyone else came out of the ring through the door. Chewy is coming down. Chewy is coming down. And Superfly Chewy is out and over the top of the cage.
Well, what an unexpected finish to that match with Chewy winning.
Well, we're going to try and talk with Superfly Chewy.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Superfly Chewy.
It took a lot of effort for that one.
In order for this match, for the winner of this match, it had to go over the top rope at the top of the ring. The Sheik did not go over the top. Grizzly Smith, I get a quick. I don't know what to say. We won! We won on top! This boy Chewy won on top! We won!
And there's Grizzly Smith down at ringside. He claiming that he won. His team won. That is it. Calling for a round of applause.
We're talking about Grizzly Smith, as you can see, certainly took a beating in this match. Cage match, traditionally the most dangerous match in Polynesian or any type of wrestling for that matter. And basically speaking, can we get the people to get this split away here? Basically, we're talking about a very, very tough match. Bruiser Brody, you saw the Sheik, and the Sheik with the fire who severely burned Bruiser Brody, who ended up out here in the chair. I know that there's a doctor in the back who is attending him at this time. I don't know exactly what the outcome of Bruiser Brody, ladies and gentlemen, but I can say that Superfly Chewy did go over the top of the cage. The referee did award him the match. Now, what has happened in regards to Grizzly Smith and what has happened in regards to Superfly Chewy Lars Anderson, I know that there's a tremendous amount of punishment in this match. Again, this was not sanctioned by the National Wrestling Alliance. This was not sanctioned by Polynesian Wrestling. This match was brought to because of the antics of the Sheik, Maniac, Mark Room, and Kevin Sullivan. I don't know if this is the answer to what has been going on. I have a feeling that this is only the beginning and certainly not the end of this. Now, I'd like to see if we could get perhaps Superfly Chewy in here. But before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to commercial. Don't touch that dial, and we will be right back.
CNN from Sabah, Tuesday at 7.
Scott Allen in the locker room for Polynesian Pacific Championship Wrestling. We've just seen the cage match. Kevin Sullivan is in the locker room with me. Kevin,
see, what I said came true. We singled out the bad man from Texas. The man that blows through the West Texas plain like a tumbleweed, eating everything in its path. But the man from the desert, the man who breathes and walks on fire, the Sheik, the only Sheik in professional wrestling today, the man that was walked through the desert for 20 days and 20 nights and only feasted on the carcasses of dead animals that laid Bruiser Brody out just like the dead camel carcass that falls over when there's no water left in the hump. You see, Bruiser Brody, you came to your oasis in the desert, and it was dry like fire. I predicted that you'd get burned by the Mystic One himself, and you did. Now, Lars Anderson, the war was originally started a year ago when you went sent to the hospital
with the Maniac and myself. But now, as history again has repeated itself, you were carried out of the ring by Kamara Amala's gigantic headbutt. And Superfly 2, you were a different story. See, I gave you a chance to better yourself. I gave you a chance to step out of the wop-wop, to step out of being a Samoan. I gave you a chance. As you can see right now, we're cutting the big man up like a barbecue. Looks like a luau. We get him now. As the spike is driven to his head, the spike that was given to me by Habuddin himself. You see, Lars Anderson, a member of Mrs. Maivia's family. As you can see, she's walking around ringside, hoping and chanting that darkness will not prevail. But the man of the desert has climbed. The man of the desert has climbed the cage that was once called impossible to climb. But that wasn't his plan. His plan was to get the big man from Texas, Bruiser Brody. And the plan was laid out better than Hitler taking Poland. You see, once the volcano erupted and ran down the side of the mountain, it all came to an end for Bruiser Brody. As you see right now, the Mystic One is in a trance, called on by Habuddin himself to destroy Bruiser Brody. And he did.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may have this for just a moment here. If I may have this just a moment. I know that this is your interview, Mr. Sullivan, but we have some other matters to discuss right now, and it happens to be one Mr. Bruiser Brody. The doctor is in the back, and Bruiser Brody is severely burned on his face. Yeah, well, you do think it's funny, don't you? Let me tell you something. That was not an accident that happened to Bruiser Brody. And I don't make idle threats, but accidents can happen to anybody outside the arena, Mr. Sonny, if you get what I mean. Sun can be turned into darkness real quick, like 6 feet down and buried under, so you better watch your tongue or it will be cut out. All I can say, Maniac, Mark Lewin, and Kevin Sullivan, we have the doctors in... Again and taking control of the island. The sun has brought it out. Sonny, you see, it is nighttime. The last place where we live and dwell. Darkness will come. Now I have made Bruiser Brody a king. Yes, a king. A king in the land of the blind, because there, the one I made is king. Speaks the darkness. Ladies and gentlemen, this is definitely a... I want to take a look at the match right here. Here's the cage match. We have Grizzly Smith, who's down right now in the cage. I really don't know what to say about this. Lars Anderson is having his head bashed right into the ring there by Maniac Mark Lewis. There's Bruiser Brody up on the top. He's up on the top right there. He's trying to get out. Again, I don't know really what to say. I just did have to come in here for just a moment and just chat about this. I'm going to turn this back over here for just one moment to stop, but I wanted to just bring this up. I don't know really what to say. I just did have to come in here for just a moment and just chat about this. I'm going to turn this back over here for just one moment to stop, but I wanted to just bring this up. And Scott, I know that you wanted to talk with Bruiser Brody, so I'm going to hand that to you.
Thank you, Sonny. We're in the locker room with Bruiser Brody, who, as you've seen, has not done too good in this match. Bruiser, are you going to go...
Let me tell the Sheik something. And I want you to look at me close. Let me tell the Sheik something. I don't want to shout at the good Mrs. Maiva. I don't want to be yelling at her. She's friends with everybody here. But I'm telling the Sheik something. And Mrs. Maiva might as well listen close. You don't have to make no decisions for Bruiser Brody. You don't have to make no decisions for me. I've been stabbed before in the middle of that ring. And I've been beat with 2x4s. The one time when I was in Texas several years ago, the Maniac Mark Lewin, he took a railroad spike, put me on a stretcher and carried me off to a Dallas hospital. But I ain't never been burnt. Never been burnt. And I feel like a damn fool out here. I was out here earlier telling you that nobody would ever burn Bruiser Brody. Sheik, that's one for you. That's one for you. 1-0. One Sheik. Bruiser Brody 0. But that's okay. That's okay with me. I'm coming for you, Sheik. I'm coming for you. I've been burnt. I've been burnt, and I'm here to talk about it. See how they died. I've been burnt, Chief. But it ain't nothing. I mean nothing. Like what these two hands are going to do to you. You go ahead, burn me. Burn them all. But you're going to pay. You're going to pay, Chief. You're going to pay. I've been burnt. You're going to pay.
We're in the locker room. Grizzly Adams is also
The remainder would be used to upgrade Helco's generating system to keep up with the Big Island's growing demand for electricity, and public hearings on that hike request held later this year.
You're right. We are talking about money a lot.
It's a money show.
Yeah. Local television wrestling figure has been slammed by police for a number of drug and firearms violations. 32-year-old Brian Adams, who competes in the World Wrestling Federation under the name The Crush, was arrested at his Kona home on Monday. Hawaii County Police, along with Drug Enforcement Agency people and the U.S. Customs Service, raided his home after customs officials intercepted a package that had come in from London. The search netted a quantity of anabolic steroids, some other drugs, and 2 unregistered handguns. Adams, incidentally, has since been released on $10,000 bail.
Kim Janala joins us now with a...
No, Dorothy, what do they say?
Will she make the cut?
I'm dead meat.
Or is she prime choice for unemployment?
It's Working Class Comedy on 9 to 5 tonight at 7:30.
Getting ready for the battle royal that we've been anxiously awaiting. One winner, one person will take home that $50,000 check. Right now, I'm going to turn it over to Kali Imua at ringside to talk a little bit with promoter Leah Maivia.
Aloha, everybody. Kali Imua here with promoter Leah Maivia. Leah, aloha.
Thank you very much for the support tonight. And my special thanks for all wrestlers from all over the world to be here tonight for the man we love, and I love him so much. It's more than a husband to me. He is my heart. I want you to introduce one of Peter Maivia star, Tamatonga. He fly all the way to be here tonight for the memorial.
Thank you very much. I'm Tonga, and it's my pleasure to be here with the Polynesian. And you all have a happy and a Merry Christmas. Love you all.
Thank you, Mr. Tonga. Thank you. Thank you, Leah. Pavatai Tilly. And now let's get back to the action. The Battle Royal.
And this is it. This is the big one. Everybody in the ring at the same time. Bruiser Brody is making his way up the pole. Maniac Mark Lewin right under him. That's Bruiser Brody going up that pole. It looks like he's going to be the one. Oh, you never know. Here he comes down again. Lots of action going on in the ring. Kamalamala is in there. Kevin Sullivan is in there. Superfly Chewy is in there. Kevin Sullivan pulling on the boots of Bruiser Brody. Strong Machine number 1 and Strong Machine number 2. Tor Tamaka is in there, along with the Samoan Connection. Farmer Boy Epo and Leroy Brown. There goes Jumping Joe Solo. Jumping Joe Solo is going to try to get up that pole. At the top of the pole, gang, is the Pacific Heavyweight Championship belt, along with a check for $50,000. Kenny Bobo number 2 is right over there, grabbing the leg. Bruiser Brody. There are over 20 wrestlers participating here
Here goes Leroy Brown. Leroy Brown trying to go up that pole. He is one half of the Pacific Heavyweight Tag Team Champion. Along with Father Boy Epo, he's the other half. Epo is down there lending his support.
Looks like he's fighting back on the pole again.
Boy, you know, if the Samoan connection could do that, they could split it 25 apiece. Yeah.
There's that check for $50,000, Colin.
That's
On the other side of that check is the belt for the heavyweight champion.
50 G.
You know, people, I've heard a few comments about $70,000. This is for real. Someone is going to take home $50,000. One of these wrestlers, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching right now, is going to be $50,000 richer and have that battle go.
And they know that they will if they do it. They are wasting no time. There goes Bruiser Brody. He's going to the top. He's going to the top. Kevin Sullivan is pulling him down. Bruiser Brody. He was trying his best to get up there. Jumping Joe Solo up against
Richie Magnet has been thrown out of the ring. He is not disqualified. There goes another one.
Jumping Joe Solo goes out of the ring.
Hits the floor. Jumping Joe Solo is now out. Being narrowed down, Colin. Any speculation? Who do you think might get up there first?
I don't know. You know, Scotty, when you have wrestlers as good as all these men truly are, you never know, what can happen. So, I mean, I could never climb that pole, but, boy, I'm sure all these wrestlers here could. So,
Dusty Wolf has now been thrown out. Excuse me, Colin.
I'm undecided, Scotty. There goes Skinny Papa number 2. Now, number 1, excuse me. Trying to go up that pole. Superfly 2.
He's the floor. Skinny Popo 2. Skinny Popo 1, excuse me, is out of the mat. He's gone down to the floor. It's all over for him.
And this is every man for himself. Because all of these wrestlers would each love to have that $50,000 check. Looks like this road. Father Boy Epo.
He can't make it. Boom, they came tumbling back down.
Scotty, he came so close.
Here's the check.
$50,000 is on the top of that pole. You saw it right there. $50,000. Oh. There's Superfly Dewey. He's getting up there. Superfly Dewey is getting up the pole. Superfly Dewey getting up that pole now. He's halfway up there, Scotty. He's halfway up the pole. Scotty, there's only one belt. Now, the wrestlers can divide the money, but there's only one belt. If that belt falls down, I guess whoever grabs it will be champion then. I mean, I don't know how they're going to do that.
That would be it, Colin. It does not say what would happen if it should fall. That's a very distinct possibility. Let's tear the pole down, why don't we?
There's Bruiser Brody. He's carrying the pole down.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is just too much. The audience around us is standing. Everyone is on their feet. The excitement is so intense, you can't even begin to sit down. Hey, I'm telling you, if you're not here, you are missing something, and you don't want to miss any more. You've got to be here January 28th for the next World Pacific Wrestling event. And then, of course, every week on Channel 4, World Pacific has the wrestling event that you're seeing right now. Superfly Dewey again trying to climb that pole.
He's trying to climb it, Scotty. He's not even halfway up yet. He's got that lava with him. That might be his good luck charm.
Father Boy Epo now trying.
He's got it! Scotty! He's got it! Superfly Dewey has got it!
Superfly Dewey wins the Battle Royal and gets the heavyweight championship belt back.
Superfly Dewey is again the Pacific Heavyweight Champion. And the winner of the Battle Royal, Superfly Dewey. We'll be back
right after this.
It's Hawaiian Open 1987.
Ladies and gentlemen, the new Pacific Heavyweight Champion, Superfly Dewey, who won the belt and the $50,000 in a Battle Royal. Dewey?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a great opportunity to get the belt back. I've been striving this for years and years, although I lost the belt to Lars Dennison. But let me tell you something, people out there. I'm sorry if I let you down. As I've already explained to you, the pole standing behind me is about 25 feet high, and it's so slippery and it's difficult to get up there. It takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of practice to get up there. The check, I'm not going to keep the check. I'm going to give it the check to people to help me up to get on top of the pole and become a champion again. Thank you very much.
Join us once again for World Pacific Wrestling on KITV Channel 4.
In a 2000 Windstar and get 0.9 financing plus 1,000 cash back. So for great deals on the vehicles more Hawaiian families write their stories in, visit your Hawaii Ford store today.
Tonight on KGMB 9 News, workers goofing off on the job, costly road repairs done in the wrong places.
Comedy of errors, but no one's laughing, especially the state auditor who says the Department of Transportation is wasting your tax money. We went searching for answers and see what we found tonight on KGMB 9 News.
Good things are on KGMB 9, your #1 TV station.
KGMB 9 remembers Wrestling in Hawaii is brought to you by Kodak Premium Processing, taking pictures further. Kilgo's, Hawaii knows you're going to find it at Kilgo's. Leonard's Bakery, putting sugary smiles on Hawaii's faces for half a century. Local 5, we stand together.
The following is a special presentation of KGMB 9, the leader in quality local programming.
In a world of kings, princes, and lords,
James Blair,
of bulls, wolves, and lynx, wrestling dominated arenas and televisions throughout Hawaii. Tonight, join us as KGMB 9 remembers some of the most beloved heroes and villains of the ring.
Everything's happening. I don't know what's happening.
After Dad died, I moved in with Pat. She works in the same hotel I did before I retired. But now the hotel bosses want to take away all the benefits we fought so hard for. That's not right.
Mom's enjoying retirement, but now the hotels want to take away her medical coverage. That's not right. I won't let them do that to her.
And neither will we. We stand together.
For nearly half a century, Leonard's Malasadas have been putting sugary smiles on Hawaii's faces.
And they still do, even today. Piping hot, golden brown, made from a secret family recipe, then dusted with sugar. Wait! This just in. A new twist on an old favorite. Malasada Puffs, now available at Leonard's and all Leonard Jr.'s locations. And look for the new Malasada Mobile in a neighborhood near you. Remember, every day is Malasada Day at Leonard's.
Turn an ordinary night into an evening of sheer pleasure with the event critics have called elegant, extraordinary, and dazzling. A language so sensual, a story so intense, it takes a tango to tell it. Forever Tango, a must-see, raves the New York Times. Call now and tell them you'll take 2 to tango.
On stage at the Hawaii Theater, now through Sunday. Get tickets now at the Theater Box Office, Ticket Plus outlets, or charged by phone. Don't miss it.
Forever Tango, for you, for yours, forever.
Aloha, I'm Tom Moffat. Wrestling's always been a big thing for the people of Hawaii. And when characters like King Ripper Collins, the Missing Link, Curtis the Bull Iaukea, and handsome Johnny Brand entered the squared circle, the result? Well, sellouts at places like Schofield's Conroy Bowl, Block Arena, Pearl Harbor, the old Civic Auditorium over on King Street, and right here, Saturday afternoons at wonderful KGMB. Long before the WWF and the WCW, wrestling was big time in Hawaii.
In the days of old Hawaii, wrestling matches were a major source of entertainment. The tournaments were held during the Makahiki season, a celebration held after a time when the high chiefs would sail around the islands collecting taxes from their subjects. But it wasn't until the 1950s, with influence from many cultures around the world, that wrestling took on a new, more flamboyant style. Promoter gentleman Al Karasik paved the way for top wrestling stars who came to Hawaii. Karasik brought in memorable wrestlers like Lou Thez and Ed Francis. By 1961, Karasik was ready to retire, and so Ed Francis stepped up and bought out the franchise. Matches were held on Wednesday nights and aired on KGMB the following Friday. Saturday matches were aired live from the KGMB studios.
Anytime you wish to come to the wrestling, sports fans, on Saturday afternoon, call the station or write to them if you have a group of people, a birthday party, or Cub Scouts, or any type of a group, and you can make arrangements with Channel 9, KGMB, to attend free the wrestling matches here, live in color on Saturday afternoon, 3:30 to 5, every Saturday on the #1 station. It's Channel 9. Fearless Friday, Ripper calls him. A flying mare. Nick Bockwinkel goes with the abdominal stretch on the second flying mare. He gets it. Luke Graham submits. Ripper Collins is screaming. Friday's going crazy. Nick releases the big man, and Bockwinkel ties up the match, 1 fall each in this big main event. Well, okay, sports fans, here's the big card coming up next Wednesday at the Civic Auditorium. Handsome Johnny Baran, the North American heavyweight wrestling champion, against the missing link. Bad Boy Shields meets Rene Goulet, and Han Lee in a rematch with Big Tank Morgan makes up this tremendous card next Wednesday night at the Civic. Again, the number's 5381002 for the big 6-man-woman tag team thriller Wednesday night next week.
Ed Francis called upon fellow wrestler Lord James Tally-Ho Blears to become the show's announcer and a very important part of 50th State Wrestling. Born in Manchester, England, Blears was a champion swimmer and began amateur wrestling at the age of 16. Serving in the British Merchant Navy during World War II, Blears' ship was torpedoed by a Japanese submarine. Of the 103 sailors on board, Blears was one of 5 survivors. Once while his ship was docked in New York for repairs after an attack, Blears figured he could make a little extra money by wrestling.
When I got off the ship, went to the promoter in New York and asked him if he could use me while I was in port. So they said, sure. And that was my first time I wrestled in America. So they liked me so much that they said, when the war's over, we'll send you a contract and you come and wrestle in America, you'll do well. And I said, you got it. I didn't say that then. I said, oh, yes, jolly good.
Blears found himself wrestling all over the country and other countries, including France, Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. He eventually bought a home and settled in California.
When I came to California, one of the wrestlers said to me, you know, he said, years ago, he said, we had a wrestler that used a monocle. You know what a monocle is, you know. And he said, and so that you don't have to tell everybody you're an Englishman, why don't you wear a monocle in the ring? I said, that's a good idea. So I got a monocle made, and then I had 500,000 made, and they used to sell them in Woolworths and the different stores. The official Lord Blair's monocle. So when I wore the monocle, the people started calling me Lord. Hey, Lord, how are you? You know, the people would say, so that title stuck.
In the white corner, from Manchester, England, weighing 16 stone, 6 pounds, 230 pounds, Lord James Blair.
2, just a 2 count, not a 3. Look at the drop kick. And again, look at this big man. Up on top of the bar now for a body press. And it's 2, and it's 3, and Lord Blair.
I used to sell those monocles for 35 cents. A monocle on a card with a write-up, 35 cents.
Bliers sailed with his family to Hawaii on a vacation in 1955 aboard the Lurleen. While here, he wrestled once a week for Gentleman Al Karasik at the old Civic Auditorium.
I was supposed to wrestle 4 weeks, and we stayed 7 months, I think it was. Went back to the mainland, but our love was still Hawaii.
So he sold his home in California and moved his growing family to Hawaii permanently and continued to wrestle. His involvement with the wrestling world, however, would take a new turn when Ed Francis took over the franchise. Francis needed someone who'd work well as an announcer and who understood television. Bliers fit the bill perfectly. Soon Ed and Lord began booking talent from all corners of the globe.
I knew a lot of wrestlers. He knew a lot. We'd call him up on the phone. So we caught guys going to Australia, going to Japan. On the way back, I taught them into stopping and wrestling, the top guys.
Together, Ed Francis and Lord Bliers molded and refined 50th State Wrestling, but kept the elements that worked. Referees like Frank Merrill and judo champion and former wrestler Wally Satsumi, who originally worked under Al Karasik, continued to bring order to the ring.
He was a great guy. He never said no. If you asked him something, he'd say, okay, okay. He was a gentleman. In England, we say a gentleman and a scholar. He was really a nice person.
Fellow Karasik employee Nolan Rodriguez was also asked by Ed Francis to stay with the team.
So I stood over him, and within a couple of years, he told me how about being a referee. He betrayed me, and that's how we started together. And even I've been very close.
Nolan Rodriguez, the Portuguese Flash. That's what we nicknamed him that on TV. Oh, I don't know.
Lord Blazer gave me that name. He gave me that name, Portuguese Flash. In fact, there was a lady from Hilo that wrote to him and complained to him about it. But Lord Blazer gave me that name. And you know, the name stuck with me for a long time.
The one man that Lord Bliers will never forget is Gentleman Jim Haiti. Bliers and Haiti were tag team partners in a match at Schofield's Conroy Bowl. No one would have suspected that it would be Haiti's last.
Jim Haiti was in a tag match with me. He was my partner and the Civic. And he threw 4 drop kicks, boom, 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 boom. And then he went, whoop, like that. And he tagged me. He said, I got a pain in my heart.
After the match, Haiti and Bliers hit the showers. Bliers suggested he go to the hospital, but Haiti refused.
So I said, I'll follow behind you, just to make sure you're all right. So I went right to his house, and he got out of the car. I said, see you later. He got his bag, went in the house, and I drove back to Waikiki. When I got into my apartment, my wife was at the door. She said, Jim Haiti died. Jesus, in like 45 minutes. He had a massive heart attack.
To this day, Lord Tally-Ho Bliers has gained and kept the respect of his peers and fans alike. He continually receives over 100 Christmas cards a year from family, friends, and fans.
The people in Hawaii like people that live here. That was why they drew big crowds then. They like people that lived in and liked the islands. The Hawaiian people are different than anywhere else. I had great time. I'd do it all over again. I'd do it all over again. Except I'd live my life all over again exactly, except the torpedoing. I don't want to do that again.
When wrestling in Hawaii continues, find out how Curtis Iaukea bowled his way from the field to the ring. Now for some wrestling trivia. What wrestler reportedly ate 2 dozen eggs, 1 pound of bacon, and a loaf of bread for breakfast? We'll give you the answer after the break.
Go, go, go to Kilgo's. You're gonna find it at Kilgo's.
Whatever you need for home restoring, Kilgo's has it.
I tried shopping at other home fit stores, but I always come back to Kilgo's for those hard-to-find items. The staff is helpful, and their knowledge gives me the confidence to tackle and complete my job. It feels great to shop here at Kilgo's.
Hawaii knows you're gonna find it at Kilgo's.
With Kodak Premium Premium Processing, you can always count on quality film developing. Your photos will have the best quality color and exposure with the convenience of an index print. No more squinting at negatives. Each frame of Kodak film is numbered and easy to see on one proof sheet. The index print takes the guesswork out of ordering reprints and enlargements for family and friends. Kodak Premium Processing is available at Long.
KGMB9 welcomes a new era in local talent, island music, island hearts, the next generation. Welding, K-Kauoha, reality, soul-free, Imua, and pure heart. I'm Ku'ualoha Taylor, and you're invited to Island Music, Island Hearts, the next generation, Monday night at 8 on KGMB9, and simulcast in stereo on KCCN FM 100.
What wrestler reportedly ate 2 dozen eggs, a pound of bacon, and a loaf of bread for breakfast? The answer, Giant Baba.
Hiya, welcome back. See that building behind me? It's the Interstate Building. But on that site for 41 years stood the old Civic Auditorium. Home of opera stars, the symphony performed there, ballet, pop stars. I emceed all the great show stars there, even brought Led Zeppelin in concert to the Civic Auditorium. Sadly enough, the building was torn down in 1974, but for many of us, the memories of the old Civic will linger on forever. You know, one of the imposing stars from Hawaii to grace the wrestling ring at the Civic Auditorium was the one and only Curtis the Bull Iauakea, and his famous finishing move, the splash.
Born and raised in Honolulu, Curtis Iauakea is the direct descendant of Colonel Curtis Iauakea, an advisor to Queen Liliuokalani. For Curtis, his interest in wrestling began at an early age.
I used to sell newspapers outside the old Civic Auditorium after the war. I was about 9 years old, around 46, 47. I used to watch, and I'd always was fascinated by it all. So but there was no wrestling in high school here. There was none at all.
While attending Punahou, Iauakea gained athletic fame as an all-star tackle for the Punahou Buff and Blue. After graduating, he left the islands on a football scholarship for the University of California in Berkeley. That's where he won the Andy Smith Trophy for the most time played in a single season. Curtis, however, yearned to play professional football. So in 1958, still a junior in college, the 6'5" Iauakea left for Canada to play for the British Columbia Lions. There he made all-Canadian pro tackle for 2 years in a row.
And I came back here after the season. It was in November of 58, and I was done surfing, and I'm out surfing, and I'm surfing. And I met a gentleman who had, there's no doubt that outside of my father, who had the biggest influence on my life and on me, on my life, from the time I've met him until right now today. And that's Lord Tallyho Blair's. And I met him surfing, and I want to be a wrestler, and I asked him.
I looked at Curtis, and I said, Jesus, you know, it's big, weighed about 285, solid muscle, big, handsome guy, you know. And
Curtis returned to Canada to play football for the Montreal Alouettes, and then eventually moved to California to play for the Oakland Raiders. But by then, he became disillusioned with the game and his income of $10,000 a year.
And then I got an offer for wrestling for $30,000 a year and all the food and drink I could eat and drink in Japan through Lord Blair's. Ah, all of a sudden I had it with football, all the whistlings blowing all the time, all the rules. There's something about being alone. Maybe it's greed for the spotlight. Maybe it's ego. Because I know I've got a tremendous ego. And I just didn't. I got tired of wearing a helmet where nobody could see me and doing things that I was just another number on a football field.
And from that time forward, the Bull was born.
My name came from the Lord, Curtis the Bull Iauakea. He just liked the way I pulled and everything. I didn't know what I was doing.
Curtis attracted a huge following for his antics in the ring, but it was during the unforgettable locker room interviews that he became a fan favorite.
Here, when I was here in Honolulu, before that, I always liked the song, and the sun will never rise over Diamond Head before Nicky Bockwinkel can beat me. I like the sun rising and shining over Diamond, you know. It's going to come up or it's not going to come up, but don't worry, it'll come up because I'm going to win.
His opponent returning to action in Hawaii after a 6-year tour of the world from Makawao, Maui, 285 pounds, Curtis the Bull Iaukea. Referee, Wale Tatsumi.
As I look at today now, the wrestling today, I'd say the pace the boys are going at now, they'll be lucky to have a 10-year run. All the bumps come back on you. You're landing on your right side. Your knees are the first to go, then your hips, then the small of your back.
It was plain to see that Curtis was destined for stardom. In 1963, Iaukea was also asked to appear as a sumo wrestler in the Three Stooges film Around the World in a Daze. Even his mentor, Lord Blears, realized the tremendous potential of this Punahou graduate.
He said, Curtis, you're the kind of guy, you don't really know what's going to happen to you yet. You're going to have a fabulous life. He said, you're going to travel, you're going to make money, you're going to have everything you can ever want in your life. He said, but just being around you for a while, he said, your personality, he said, one day, when it's all over, don't ever blame me for introducing you to the wrestling world, because it is the fast lane. You're out there.
When Wrestling in Hawaii comes back, how Prince Neff Maiava learned to headbutt the hard way. Now for even more wrestling trivia. Who was the heaviest wrestler to appear in 50th State Wrestling? Stumped? Stay tuned for the answer.
For nearly half a century, Leonard's Malasanas have been putting sugary smiles on Hawaii's faces.
And they still do, even today.
Pipe the winners. Meet them on the Moving Company, Sunday 6:30 and 10:30, sponsored by Hawaiian Host.
Who was the heaviest wrestler to appear in 50th State Wrestling? Haystack Calhoun, who weighed a whopping 625 pounds, outweighing both Andre the Giant and Giant Baba.
Hi once again, we're at Conroy Bowl at Schofield Barracks, and things really haven't changed much around here since From Here to Eternity. And if these walls can talk inside Conroy Bowl, I can remember introducing young Buddy Holly in there. But Conroy Bowl was built for sports, boxing, wrestling. Chief Billy Whitewolf, Beauregard, Gentleman Jim Haiti, and the Samoan Prince himself, Neff Maiava.
Neff Maiava was born in American Samoa, but came to Hawaii when he was only 2 months old. As he grew older, Neff became fascinated with boxing and decided to take up the sport.
You know, you watch Joe Louis, Dempsey, all those guys boxing. They were my idols. Like, actually, I wanted to be a boxer. Yeah. So I clued in on that, and I said, yeah, Neff, get in the ring, you know. And then I train and get in the ring and stuff like that. My first match, I remember that I got into the ring, the bell ring, and I was tearing there, coming out there. But I guess the guy threw a roundhouse or something, and I ducked and I got up. He was hanging on my shoulders, and he was dangling on that, and I was thinking, put me down. And I walked around halfway around the ring, And then I don't know, this wrestling thing comes, to my mind. So I see wrestling right there. Well, I threw the guy over the top rope, and I got disqualified immediately. Then I thought, well, yeah, I think I'll try wrestling, yeah.
Neff approached gentleman Al Karasik at the Civic Auditorium and expressed his interest in wrestling. Karasik agreed, and Neff began a rigorous training schedule.
And then I trained and trained and trained for my first match. In about 2 minutes, I was so tired, and I was training like for 5 hours,
He then traveled around the mainland and gained a lot of experience on the road. His manager, Coconut Willie, would bang on a drum as Neff entered the ring. In one of his earliest matches, Neff would learn the hard way what would become his signature move, the coconut headbutt.
Now, I wrestled this guy, Bobo Brazil, in a Madison Square, and we were crisscrossing on the ropes and stuff. I guess we went head on, and then we fell back. All I could see was the arena going, just swirling and swirling, and all I could hear is the referee say, pin him. And I got off the rope, and I fell on, and then the promoters after the shoes, now you got to have your boy, I told my manager, you got to have your boy, headbutt, And therefore, I tried it all that weeks after weeks, but I mean, I still had headaches doing that. But then I guess you get used to doing something like that, yeah.
Neff Forever was a very good wrestler. The headbutts, he was strong with his headbutts. Man, he used to broke those boards in. That was going out of style.
Mayava performed other feats for the cameras that were thought of as Polynesian. Fire dances, knife dances, standing on nail boards, and hanging by his hair. Neff's hair was so strong that he would occasionally suspend himself from unbelievable heights.
But a lot of wrestlers, they remember me by that because, they get bleeding fingers, when they get caught in my hair, But that was one of my holes, actually.
To a lot of folks back then, wrestling wasn't just about entertainment. It was a part of people's lives. One woman approached Neff and told him how she almost missed making it to the hospital in time to give birth, thanks to one of his matches.
He was telling the husband, come on, let's go, take me to the hospital. And the husband said, go in the car. And she said, she was so mad, she went out there, and the husband still, you can hear him from outside in the car, and she's in pain, and you can see here the husband yelling, head bottom. And he said, I should have named the kid after you.
Today, Mayava spends his time writing children's stories. Not something that one would expect a former wrestler to do.
Not a friend will come and say, hey, Neff, I read your book, but I can't believe that you wrote it, yeah. Because, from wrestling, biting, kicking, scratching, and all that, and then do these things, that's the soft part of me, yeah. I love doing that children's stories, especially with kids.
By the time Neff's wrestling career came to a close, he had spent 32 years of his life in the ring.
It's a lot of matches, climbing in, climbing out, traveling, this and that. It's a hard life, but it was a good life because then I experienced, because or not, I'll be still there on the plantation over there eating sugar cane and stuff like that. And I want to thank all the wrestling fans all over, for remembering an old horse out in the pasture. I've had a good life as a wrestler, and it's good to be remembered by people.
When we return, Sammy Steamboat reveals why he owes it all to Lou Thez. Lillian Ellison was the real name of what female wrestling star? The answer when Wrestling in Hawaii continues.
Go, go, go to Kilgo's. You're gonna find it at Kilgo's.
Whatever you need for home restoring, Kilgo's has it.
I tried shopping at other home fix-it stores, but I always come back to Kilgo's for those hard-to-find items. The staff is helpful, and their knowledge gives me the confidence to tackle and complete my job. It feels great to shop here at Kilgo's.
Hawaii knows you're gonna find it at Kilgo's.
Tonight, my friends, is the beginning, just the beginning of a journey that I want all of you to join us in making this city a better place to live in the 21st century.
A commitment and a plan. A man big enough to finish the job steps forward to be mayor of Honolulu.
We can do better. We should do better. We must do better.
Mufi Hanneman. The adventure begins.
Lillian Ellison was the real name of what female wrestling star? Fabulous Moolah.
We're here at Block Arena, Pearl Harbor. I remember introducing Richie Valens inside Block Arena one night. It was December 7th, 1958. And on February 3rd, 1959, he died in a tragic plane crash. This was one of his last performances, and it was a great one. Block Arena, also the home of 50th State Wrestling. And a young star wrestled here. His name was Sam Steamboat.
At a young age, local boy Sam Mokuahi learned amateur wrestling from the YMCA and soon met the man who would change his life forever.
I met a fellow by the name Lou Thez, which I became his protege. I asked him why he wanted to waste his time with me, you know. He said, you remind me of myself when I started working out with him and everything. I had no idea myself that I thought I wasn't capable of accomplishing all that. But I found out different when I started. It came natural. All the wrestling moves. He would show me some things and boom, you know, I just picked it up.
Sammy soon realized that he was destined for stardom in the ring. Even Lord Blears joked about how it was Sammy's turn to see the world.
He said, you know, you're going to travel around the world and I'm going to stay home here, you know. I said, looks like it, you know. And he knew that Lou Thez was interested in me, you know. And I was very flattered because out of all the millions of guys, he decided that I was the one, you know, and it scared me. It scared me to death. I didn't know how to act. I didn't even know what to do with myself.
Lou took Sammy to meet his father, who was known for his tests of handshake strength. His father just wanted to see what kind of man Lou chose as his protege.
So when we got introduced, he grabbed my hand, you know, I put the biggest smile on, you know, and bang, he went, you know, he went for it. He just, you know, I'm staying, I get grinning here and shaking my head, you know, and all the time he was squeezing it, you know, I knew what he was doing, you know, and I wouldn't give in. Lou just smiled. He thought that was one of the funniest things, you know. He said, then finally he released it, you know, and he said, boy, see, my son really know how to pick you guys. Because of Lou, you know, getting to me while I was naive on everything, you know. He just said, just don't be a clown. Just wrestle.
And wrestle he did. Through Lou Thez, Sammy traveled all over the country.
When I left for the mainland, I knew already what to expect. I had a pretty good idea.
This is the outrigger.
This is the outrigger canoe racing.
And they hold those each year, don't they?
We hold that once a year, the island to island, but we have a race that comes every week. Every Sunday we have a race.
And you say 8 hours. Now, you paddle continuously for 8 hours?
Continuously for 8 hours.
About how much distance will you cover?
We would cover somewhere in between 60 to 65 miles.
Oh.
Sammy would occasionally journey back home to Hawaii and participate in 50th State Wrestling.
There was a lot of people involved. Ed Francis came into the picture. Lord Bliss came into the picture. A lot of good people. A lot of good people. I cannot say enough about Talio Bliss. You know, wise man. Very, very, very up and up. You know, Francis too. Francis did not become a promoter because of his looks. He was a real tough guy, you know. I teamed up with him a couple of times, but not a couple of times, many times. But you could tell where his heart was. Curtis and I never met on a football field. I was before him. His father, later on in life, when he was with the police department, he was a captain, called me up one day and told me, he says, you know what would be the most unique thing in Hawaii? For you to team up with my son. And I'm going, oh boy. I was in great shape. And it was because of canoe paddling.
Has gone so far. And a Steamboat up on the second rope, pounding into the side of the head of Sharp. 5 men to top body press.
An avid paddler for years, Sammy, with assistance from Lord Blears, taught kids the importance of teamwork.
Those of you who have never paddled this race before, or this regatta, this is a special race, a special day. There'll be a lot of excitement between now and the time the race is in. If you work hard, it's going to show out there. When the race is started, then let's go out there and give the whole team our support.
I wanted to bring the club back because I knew who were in there, Duka Hanamoku and all the old timers. Just imagine him, we're getting in the water every day and he swims up and down the side, you know, from Kuya to the Royal Hawaiian Hotel. Well, you just shake your head because he still had that glide, you know. He would just reach out and take his strokes.
Back home on the beach, Sammy continued to wrestle in Hawaii during the 70s.
Steamboat grabs the headlock. Punches his man now. Sammy grabs him again. Bingo! Down goes Tamayo. Sammy standing on top of him. The sweat pouring off Tamayo now. If he backs up, gets one in the stomach, gets punched left and right. Steamboat Mokawai punches his man, knocks him down, and Rocky dives out of the ring. Steamboat goes right out after him. He takes him. He belts him outside the ring. The fight is continuing outside the ring at Block Arena. Smashes his head on the side of the ring. The fans love it.
Today, Sam still loves the beach and the ocean and still perpetuates the sport of canoe paddling.
I have about 18 boats, and I loan it all out so all the canoe clubs can get started. And I didn't take one back. I just kept 6 for myself and loan it out to the clubs that need it. I got 13 kids, 9 of my own and 4 adopted. So they're all out of school except one. I got 1 more to go. Then I'll be happy. Better after the last one, you know.
By 1973, 50th State Big Time Wrestling came to a close on television. But it wasn't about to be pinned for the count. Next up, why Don the Magnificent Morocco almost chose surfing over wrestling. What champion wrestler was known as the man of 1,000 holds? The answer is just ahead.
For nearly half a century, Leonard's Malasanas have been putting sugary smiles on Hawaii's faces.
And they still do, even today. Piping hot, golden brown, made from a secret family recipe, then dusted with sugar. Wait! This just in. A new twist on an old favorite. Malasada Puffs, now available at Leonard's and all Leonard Jr.'s locations. And look for the new Malasada Mobile in a neighborhood near you. Remember, every day is Malasada Day at Leonard's.
After Dad died, I moved in with Pat. She works in the same hotel I did before I retired. But now the hotel bosses want to take away all the benefits we fought so hard for. That's not right.
Mom's enjoying retirement, but now the hotels want to take away her medical coverage. That's not right. I won't let them do that to her.
And neither will we. We stand together.
Face in your face on an 8-track, getting it good to the woods, so the people give you some of that reaction to the fact that I kick in a sick, in a sick around one to the
KGMB 9 is Hawaii's #1 television station. From sign on to sign off, more viewers are tuning in to KGMB 9 than any other television station in Hawaii. With top-rated daytime programs, award-winning CBS primetime shows, and a solid, consistent news team, you've declared KGMB 9 as the station to watch. Stay tuned to KGMB 9 News for local news that keeps you involved. Mahalo, Hawaii, for making KGMB 9 #1 of the good things about Hawaii.
What champion wrestler was known as the man of 1,000 holds? Nick Bockwinkel.
In 1978, KGMB once again brought wrestling to television audiences with Wrestling Hawaii. And many of the bouts were held right here in the newly renamed Neil Blaisdell Center Arena. And to many, it was a welcome return.
Aloha! This is Lord Tally-Ho Bliss in Honolulu, Hawaii, the crossroads of the wrestling world, inviting you to join me at ringside for the best in wrestling action. The top names in professional wrestling are all here, so join me now for Wrestling Hawaii.
£250, accompanied by his manager, Bobby the Brain Heenan, both from Beverly Hills, California, Nick Bockwinkel.
And the man you see arguing now with the referee is Bobby the Brain Heenan. He is being locked in a steel cage. A bunch of people have thrown peanuts in the cage, which I guess, well, whatever. But he's being locked in the steel cage at ringside. One of the reasons that the people felt and the TV films showed that he did interfere in a match 4 weeks ago with Rick Martel, when Rick Martel gained the only fall in a 1-hour time limit. He now throws Bockwinkel. Goes for the abdominal stretch. He has it in the middle of the ring. He's got the abdominal stretch. Submission hold in the middle of the ring, holding on to Bockwinkel. Now it's Rick Martel holding. The referee's in there close. Will Bockwinkel submit? The manager says no, but he isn't feeling the pain. He's outside the ring. Bockwinkel shrugs his man off with a tremendous show of strength. 252, Bockwinkel. Powerful man. Now there's a side headlock. The referee goes down. Crushed into the referee. Nolan Rodriguez is down. There's a body slam. Covering his man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the referee prone. He comes over. He's trying to shake the referee out of his daze. He says, come on, Bockwinkel coming up behind him. Behind his man. Martel's right on him. Picks him up again. Slams it. He covers him again. I count for you, unofficially. 2, 3, 4. I missed the one because I was already into it. He comes over and grabs the referee again. He says, come on, Nolan Rodriguez. Up he goes. He's screaming to people. Bockwinkel comes from behind, but he gets him again. A small package. Bockwinkel hooks the leg. And Bockwinkel wins the match and defends his championship and retains the title.
One of the faces to grace both 50th State Wrestling and Wrestling Hawaii was Don Morocco. At the young age of 10, Morocco was already rubbing elbows with some of wrestling's elite. He would work out at a place called Dean's Gym, owned by wrestler and former Mr. Hawaii, Dean Higuchi. There, Don met and became friends with wrestlers like Beauregard, and Harry Fujiwara.
Yeah, well, I grew up pretty much like everybody else in Hawaii, you know, with 50 state wrestling going on. You know, it was Curtis and Handsome John, and Ed Francis and Ripper, and of course the Lord, you know, and Neff Maiava, Tosh Togo. You know, there was all kinds of talent here. It was just insane, you know.
At a young age, Morocco was a close friend of Lord Blair's son and would frequently visit their home.
So, as was usual, I was either eating spaghetti or soya chicken over at Lee Blair's and Tally-Ho Blair's house. And Sandor Kovacs, who was Gene Kaniski's partner, who was the world champion at the time, or close to the NWA world champion. He was at the Blair's home, and Tally-Ho knew my wrestling background, a state champion and all-state in football and stuff, and, you know, I'd been around.
I said, Don, I said, that guy I introduced you to, he wanted to know if you'd like to go to Canada. He'll give you a ticket, round trip. You know, if you don't like it, after a couple of months, you can come back. I said, do you want to go? And I just asked him, would you like to go? And he's eating he said, Don said, well, it's summer right now. The waves are up at Ala Moana.
Eventually, Blair's and Kovacs convinced Morocco to go to Vancouver and other places around the world. In 1971, he returned to Hawaii.
For Christmas, I came back here, and I hadn't been in the business barely even a year. So I came back here, and, you know, and they saw that I had progressed and, you know, I had learned at least the, you know, the basics of my trade anyway. So the first match I had, the first night I was here, was with Curtis. Back in 50 State Wrestling, it was great. He would wrestle here on Wednesday night at either the Civic or the Blaisdell, or you might have Block Arena or something else. So it wasn't really, you know, you weren't really packing your bag and doing a lot of traveling. It was a lot of beach time, a lot of surf time. And you're making a living, or I was at the time.
As fate would have it, one of the wrestlers that he met years ago would eventually become his manager.
Harry Fujiwara, Mr. Fuji, would later be my manager in New York, and all over the world. But when we worked out of Madison Square Garden there, Fuji was my manager for a great part of my career, and he started here. He came from Hawaii, even despite the Japanese accent.
It wasn't until working in Florida that he acquired the name Magnificent.
And so they came out with the thing where I shaved my head, I put a mask on, I came out with the Magnificent M, and, you know, nobody knew who, you know, and then all of a sudden the mask came on, the people in the back, and the people had never seen me with a shaved head, and, you know, it was pretty wild. And then I came back for a couple months, went to Atlanta, when the Atlanta TV, before it became WCW. And I went back to New York, and that's when the Hulk came in. And that's when wrestling changed. After Magnificent Morocco, somehow I became The Rock. I don't know. I didn't do it. It went pretty much through promotion, and they established that.
In his lifetime, Morocco has held so many titles that even he has a difficult time remembering them all.
The titles I've had, Hawaii, Florida State, Georgia State, Kansas State, Southern States, Northern States, North American.
Morocco has lived through the ever-changing face of wrestling and has learned something about its legacy.
But, you know, of course, the guys that were here were already trendsetters. You know, we had Curtis, who really founded the basic interview foundation for everybody. As generations progress, you know, you kind of learn off the old and you add your own thing to the new.
Next on Wrestling in Hawaii, from King Ripper Collins to handsome Johnny Beren, we'll remember other unforgettable personalities of the ring. Which wrestler would refer to his opponents as pencil neck geeks? Stay tuned.
Come
With Kodak Premium Processing, you can always count on quality film developing. Your photos will have the best quality color and exposure with the convenience of an index print. No more squinting at negatives. Each frame of Kodak film is numbered and easy to see on one proof sheet. The index print takes the guesswork out of ordering reprints and enlargements for family and friends. Kodak Premium Processing is available at Long.
Go, go, go to Kilgo's. You're gonna find it at Kilgo's.
Whatever you need for home restoring, Kilgo's has it.
I tried shopping at other home fitness stores, but I always come back to Kilgo's for those hard-to-find items. The staff is helpful, and their knowledge gives me the confidence to tackle and complete my job. It feels great to shop here at Kilgo's.
Hawaii knows you're gonna find it at Kilgo's.
Which wrestler would call his opponents pencil neck geeks? Freddie Blassie. Over the years, there were many other wrestlers who graced the islands, like the Masked Executioner, Beauregard, John Tolis, Peter Maivia.
Another one just shrugs it off. Hits the ropes now. Peter knocks his man backwards, trying again, trying to dislodge that 280 pounds. Here he goes again. Peter charges in, takes him from behind with a sleeper hold. He's got the deadly Japanese sleeper hold on him. He's holding it now. And the eyes are crossing on Raul Castro. He's going to sleep. Aloha for Raul Castro if Peter can hold on to the famous Japanese sleeper hold. Puts his man out, and the winner of the match, High Chief Peter Maivia.
And Chief Billy White Wolf.
He's going crazy. Billy White Wolf's after him. He's still got on the headdress on. They're fighting right at ringside. Smashing the sheet. He pulls. They're fighting outside the ring. They're right behind us. They're picking up chairs and throwing chairs. Everything's happening. I don't know what's happening, but everything is happening. The Sheik gets in the ring. Billy White will stop. The Sheik clubs him. He's got something in his hand. I don't know what it is, but he's sticking it in the neck of Chief Billy White Wolf. The Sheik is not known for his wrestling prowess.
Among them, Roy Lee Ripper Collins was the man that fans loved to hate. Collins was born in Georgia. He wrestled around the world, and in 1973 decided to finally call Hawaii his home. While in the islands, he called himself King Ripper Collins and claimed that he was the absolute ruler of the Hawaiian Islands. Local fans, however, affectionately called him the Great White Whale.
But he had the strangest things about talking about pronouncing Hawaiian names. You know, like, well, just throw it out, like Hilo. He would say Hilo. You know, Maui would be Mui. I'm just remembering what he's saying. And Kauai is a Kwa.
Collins was once quoted as saying, "I'm the only wrestler in the world who has to wrestle 3 guys every time I step into the ring. My opponent, the referee, and the promoter."
Great, great talker. He had his finger right on the pulse of the Hawaiian, the people from Hawaii. He was a southern redneck hillbilly, and he knew how to just twist them and twist with Maui and Kauai, King Kalapapa, Papa, you know, I'm going to Hilo.
Ripper Collins died of cancer in 1991. No one will ever forget the self-proclaimed King of the Islands. Another unforgettable figure was handsome Johnny Beren. Born in New York, he once was called a matinee idol, and that he was movie star handsome.
Well, Johnny, you know, people like, when he talked like he talked, people have asked me that, was he putting on? You know, like his crazy, Johnny talked like that in the locker room, everywhere. And he was unpredictable.
In 1967, his wedding was performed in the ring in the HIC before more than 9,000 fans. The event was also broadcast live on KGMB television.
His insight is you know, what he was thinking back then, you know, is stuff they're doing now. You know, we're talking the 60s.
A native of Argentina, the 5'9" Pampero Firpo was an instant favorite in Hawaii.
Introducing to you first, in the red corner from Buenos Aires, Argentina, he weighs 240 pounds. Pampero Firpo, we know him as the Missing Link.
He could speak fluently in 7 different languages. And when he roared his battle cry, everyone knew he was coming into the ring. Ed Francis and Lord Blears closed shop in 1980. For Hawaii, wrestling's popularity eventually faded away. Can wrestling in Hawaii make a comeback, or have we grown accustomed to watching matches from far away?
People say, why do you bring wrestling back to that? It's different now. It's different now. The people that wrestle, they can't come and stay in the islands for 3 months and get well known by the fans. They're here today, gone tomorrow, gone tonight. The wrestlers started coming in. We brought some top wrestlers in to wrestle at the Blaisdell, and they were on the 11 o'clock flight going back to New York or someplace. The people didn't get to know them, so the crowd started to fall off.
In the past few years, semi-pro wrestling events have been held in rings throughout Hawaii. And with the success of the WCW and the WWF, wrestling is alive and well. And perhaps it won't be too long before once again Hawaii can experience the thrill of big-time wrestling right here in our own backyard. I'm Tom Moffat. Thanks for watching.